All right, here we go. And we're Max and Chet.
Max and Chet.
Okay, we'll do that.
Here we are again.
Today I wanted to talk about the absolute beauty and morality of gambling, and just what a great thing it is. Because, and I'm not talking like when you go gamble away your rent money. That makes you a jerk. What I'm talking about is when you make like a contract with someone else because you think something is true and they think something is true, and you set the standards and they are quantifiable, and then one of you wins and one of you loses. I mean, there's so many glorious things about that. Number one, you're learning how to make quantifiable contract deals, and that is like the secret to life. If you have a roommate, you want to lay out the terms of whatever you think is going to go wrong, before you two live together, so that you know what can go wrong. And then the other thing is that there's been two people, like when you make a bet on something that you say or whatever. I happen to be kind of good at it. I think I win more of these than I lose. That's maybe why I like it so much.
No, I disagree.
Disagree? Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think with us, you're 50-50. At best.
It might be 50-50 with you.
At best.
We can talk about some of the adventures
And what
we've
he's
had.
talking about is making bets with other people, is what he's talking about. And he's not talking about throwing in fucking $10 into a slot machine and then throwing in 10 more and then throwing in 10 more and then throwing in 10 more.
Although I do that.
Until your rent payment is paid. That's not the kind of gambling we're talking about. We're not talking about betting whether or not my 21's going to beat the dealer's fucking 17, okay? We're talking about a bet amongst two people. Okay, like whether or not this is the proper pronunciation of a name, whether or not this person is actually from Canada, say Europe, or whether or not,
I did lose that one.
Nah, he did.
And another one
There was another one about Canada.
There was the guys that sing 500 miles. I thought they were from Canada.
They were from like Ireland or somewhere. They're Scotland. They're from there.
I just assume everyone's from Canada.
You do. You just assume everybody with an accent, with a European accent.
If I can't place it, they must be from Canada.
Well, they're not Mexican and they're not American, so fuck them.
Definitely not Australian. Must be Canadian.
Canadian. Fuck them.
Anyways,
Canadian.
The other thing I want to mention about this is there's been two people that I've come across in my life that say I absolutely never bet on anything on principle. Never will bet on my word. Pretty much they're saying they'll never put any credence into their word, into what they say. And those two people have been the most full of crap people I've ever known. They've been wrong about darn near everything.
That's because it's bullshit, dude. I know.
So, yeah, I mean, they're just full of crap all the time. So anyways, to me, gambling or betting on your word is such a glorious thing. And we can actually talk. Why don't we each pick a favorite bet that we had between each other?
Well, not between us. I remember I had a bet, and it started out with you. But then it brought in our Jewish friend, Ezekiel. We'll refer to him as Ezekiel.
Today, okay.
Today we'll refer to him as Ezekiel. He has many different Jewish names.
Like Adam Yiddish.
Adam Yiddish.
Okay.
Yes, today I want to call him Ezekiel.
Okay, Ezekiel.
But, anyways, it started out with you, I believe, and it was about, like, something ridiculous about, like, how many people lived in the world today.
Yeah.
And I said, like, 6 billion. And that's correct, because...
It's closer to correct.
No, it's, like, correct. It's pretty much... Obviously, it's not exact 6 billion, okay? That's ridiculous. I'm not exact. But that is more exact than what Adam Yiddish... By the way, one of the smartest men I've ever known, he said 1 trillion.
Right.
I'm like, are you fucking shitting me, dude? 1 trillion? No. No. Alright? 1 trillion, he says. By the way, the exact population as of today, or as of 2010, I should say, this graph that we're looking at right now, 6,840,507,540,507,003
There you
people.
go. All right.
That's pretty specific. Three
I
people.
think you're yelling a little bit.
I yell all I want. That's what I do when I drink.
All right.
3 people. That's specific.
That is pretty specific.
Where the fuck did they come up with this number? And I'm calling bullshit on it. I'm just saying, any given second that number changes. How the fuck did they come up with 3? They came up with 6 billion, blah, 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 and 3 people.
Anyways, Mr. Yiddish was
trillion.
Pretty far off.
Because and we discovered 1 trillion is how many people had lived since the beginning of people till today.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about my favorite.
That was my favorite bet right there, because he was so way off and I was so right.
And he's a really smart guy.
And he's
really
a smart
nice
guy, and I beat a smart guy,
person.
right? You know.
Here's one of my favorite. What is the name of that actor that you hate from Third Rock from the Sun?
Fuck that guy. French Stewart.
French Stewart.
He's always squinting. The fuck you squinting at, French Stewart? You're not fucking smart. You're not fucking talented. You're not even good looking as far as dudes go. So you know what? Stop fucking squinting. Where the fuck you squinting at? You're indoors. Never mind. Go on.
We had a wager on whether... Because Max here didn't think that French Stewart was in the movie Stargate. And so...
I thought it was just a douchebag that looked like him. But apparently it was the douchebag in person.
Normally, we would bet like someone had to get the other person lunch. That was our favorite betting thing all the time. Well, I decided to kick this one up a notch because I was so sure French Stewart was in that movie, and so the deal was if Max lost, once our friend who had attention deficit disorder and was very hyper, I think we should nickname him perhaps the Tasmanian Devil.
Tasmanian.
But he was on leave. This was in Iraq. We're full of these war stories. Anyways, he was on leave, and if Max lost this bet, he had to just, once this guy pretty much stepped off the plane or whenever he first saw him, he had to just run up and tackle this guy. This guy was always wrestling people. Myself and Max were not really like that. We're just not really fighting.
This guy looked for wrestling matches.
Right.
Like, haha, I'm ADD. I like to move.
So once I saw him, I'm like, hey, Tasmanian Devil. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. It's probably not what I called him. Anyways, and I just kind of looked at Max and smiled, and because Max lost the bet. French Stewart is indeed in that movie. Anyways, he had to tackle him, and I was laughing, and Tasmanian Devil goes, Chet, why is this happening? What's going on? Why is this happening to me? What is this about? And I was just laughing. I couldn't even speak. I was laughing so hard.
But I tackled him.
Yep, you did.
I did.
You did it.
It was good. It was good-natured.
I'm just saying.
But I lived up to it. I tackled him. He didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Glorious thing, gambling. But I want to move on.
I totally forgot that.
I want to move on to. Oh well, actually, one more thing on gambling. I have a guy who says that I have a gambling. The problem thing. One guy says he doesn't want to bet me because he doesn't want to support my gambling problem. Well, guess what? It might happen to be because
it's the only problem if you lose.
Right. He's lost like the last 5 bets against me and never won a bet against me, so that could be why. Then the other one is sometimes I get a phone call when I'm like having a good time on the machines and just.
Is that Johnny
money.
Appleseed?
Yes.
We'll call him Johnny Appleseed.
Johnny Appleseed. That's him. Sometimes I get a phone call when I'm on the machines having a good time, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I took some money out, but I'm winning and all this, and I had been there like 2 days before, and I just get this urge, and I got to play on the machines, and the person on the other end of the phone call says, I think you have a problem. And I'm going, no, I'm having a great time. I think you have a problem.
You're the one with the problem. I'm fucking great.
Anyways, not to say, I do think there's a point when you have a problem, as with anything, drinking water, booze, and, whatever we might have been smoking tonight.
What?
I was just making stuff up.
I wish.
Yeah, really. Okay, I want to move on to memories. I think we can fit that in here for the next 5.5 minutes, but that's not 5.5 minutes.
Memories are
listener
tricky.
Time. Yeah, our memory, because we have the ego, and it kind of modifies our memory. And I wanted to tell a little story about when we played softball. And here's what happened. This is what I remember. I hit the ball. It was a grounder, went out in the middle field or something like that. And I ran to first base. First baseman got in my way, and I just kind of Charlie Mike continued mission right into the first baseman through and tagged the base, and that would be the end of the story as I remember it. And to this day, this is still how I remember it. But this is not what happened, and I know this because people.
I was playing first base. That's why.
Yeah,
That's why we know this didn't happen.
People repeated this story back to me, and from what I gathered, even though that's what I remember, that's not what happened. I apparently hit the ball and ran down middle base, saw the middle baseman scream the battle cry.
Yep.
Lowered my shoulder into like his, what do you call it, the soul plex area or whatever.
Pretty much.
Knocked him on his ass while he was groaning, tagged the first base, and then turned around and proceeded to yell at my team that was not runner's interference.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of funny. Like the ego kind of transformed the memory into something that sounds more pleasant to me. Oh yeah, by the way, my teammate was screaming and groaning for pain on the ground during that.
I wouldn't say screaming, but like
trying to breathe.
But yeah, like unsuspectedly hit would be the proper term, and regaining my self-composure afterwards.
So that's kind of a thing where I learned that my own memory cannot really be trusted. I gotta rely on just other things.
Third party.
Can't trust you. Yeah, excuse me, I had some hiccups.
Somebody's hiccup and somebody's drunk.
I didn't feel a whole lot of guilt because that same team, I was the catcher and the same teammate had done like the exact same thing. Except I wasn't blocking the baseline as much, I don't think. I think you kind of went out of your way to freaking...
You know what, dude? It doesn't matter if I block the baseline. If I have the ball...
You didn't, though. I definitely hit you before you caught that ball.
No, we're not going to get into this right now. We're not going to get into this. Because if I had the ball, I could stand anywhere the fuck I want. Because I'll be tagging the base, yo. Alright, move on.
Alright, move on. We got 3 minutes
I like
left.
booze.
I do too, to an extent.
I was just thinking about something random.
Yeah?
I can't remember what it was anymore.
It was that random.
It was that fucking random.
That's pretty random. You know what you're probably thinking about? Ninjas, but they disappeared. Well played, ninjas.
Well played.
Well played.
Again, ninjas. Telling you, don't trust them. Anyways, in my younger days, at least 70, 80 years ago,
Yes.
maybe even 90, alright? I'm talking younger days. I used to partake in what the kids today call Mary Jane, marijuana, mota.
Yes.
South of the border, they call it mojota. Actually, they don't call it that, they call it mota. But anyways. That's what I was thinking about. Thinking about my old days smoking weed. puffing.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah.
Used to love it a lot. You know why? We just passed April 20th. 420.
Yeah.
That's like the closest thing to fucking holiday potheads have. It really is. You know, in Colorado, in a true story here. Colorado, they have there's a college, and every year they have this huge 420 gathering, and I've seen images of it. I haven't been there, mind you, because in the last 100 years I don't smoke. Okay, 90, 80 years, whatever. I don't smoke, but I've seen images in the last year or so ago. It looked like fog. It looked like a cloud. It didn't look like people were smoking weed, dude. It looked like literal. I live on the coast, okay? And I know what fog looks like. It covers everything, everywhere, every square inch, and that's what this shit looked like. Of thousands or hundreds of these people just fucking smoking out. So to deter it, you know what they did this year?
What's that?
This annual gathering field that they join on, they sprayed it down with fish fertilizer.
Oh, what's that smell like?
Like stank. Smell like stank, yo. So it deterred people from gathering there and smoking weed. That's all I have. Really.
Did it work?
From what I heard, I don't know. I mean, from what I heard, a lot of people. You're not gonna stop. It doesn't work. Nobody's gonna stop from smoking weed. People are just gonna smoke weed somewhere else. You know. That's.
All right, killer. Our time's about up. But it looks
All
like
right.
we've covered a lot of subjects: weed, memory, and gambling. Damn.
Right on. Boom.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, that all kind of flows together there.
Does it?
I gambled a lot when I was high, and then I forgot about it.
All right. Yeah. It's like this one comedian said. I hate to steal his joke, but I'm gonna do it because it was funny. He says, "They say marijuana causes short-term memory loss. I walk out from the kitchen, and then I sit back down in my recliner, and I think, oh yeah, the smoke alarm." So, anyways, later on in his act, he goes, "They say marijuana causes short-term memory loss, but..."
Same joke, yes.
All right, guys, this is Max and Chet signing off.
Peace out.
Peace. And we actually, I was going to say not literally peace, but literally peace, my brother.
But not literally.
But not
unless
literally.
you're into the, league of evil.
That's correct. All right, we're out.